Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. My name is Chris, this is Random Hero Art Studio, and today we are going to be making a scorpion sculpture out of copper wire. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that one of my favorite sculptures to make is this scorpion. I keep making it over and over and over again. To me, it's like a protection totem. I give them out, I sell them, I have fun with them. It's like my favorite thing in the world to make. So, follow me along in this video. You can learn how to make one for yourself. If you don't want to, that's fine as well. You can head over to randomhero.ca and pick one up for yourself. They're about $30. But today, we're going to make one. Hopefully you learn. Pause it when you need to. Follow along. I hope you enjoy. First, what I like to do is I like to cut two lengths, roughly 8 of them at 10 inch and 8 of them at 20 inch. So the smaller ones are going to be used for the legs and the rib cage, and the longer wires are going to be used for the tail and the claws and the face or the antenna, depending on how you want to bend your two remaining wires. So what I like to do is I like to take the smaller wire and we're going to wrap it around the larger wire and then work our way up. About a year ago, in the middle of COVID, I had the opportunity to work on a project where we were decommissioning a lighthouse downtown Oakville. The lighthouse is being removed, torn down, and a new one's going to be put up in its place. So our job was to remove all the electrical from the lighthouse before it was demolished. This piece of wire here ran from a disconnect to the main panel, and it's the perfect length to make about 6 of these. Alright, so once you've got all the wires wrapped around your core, then you have to make sure that you figure out the direction of the body. You want to make sure you got enough wire at the top for the claws and enough wire at the bottom for the tail, and then you have to see where the top of the rib cage is, and you have to measure, or you have to flip the opposing wire. See, I'm going to flip it over here. You can see the back, and it has to run just like this, and then your rib cage will look stunning when you're done. So just keep it tight, keep your thumb on it, and just work your way up nice and slow. You can do it. Anyone can do it. All my sculptures have a different backstory, and these ones are no different. The scorpion to me has always been a bit of a protection symbol, like a protection totem that I've always made, I've always given away, I've always sold, I've always had good luck with these. So the fact that these ones here, the next 6, are going to be made from the cable that powered a lighthouse, something that kept people safe in the darkness, that actually means a lot to me. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun making the next 5, and I'm gonna take a lot of time and a lot of care in them, because just the energy that they hold and that they carry with them from being a symbol of protection, it means a lot. Now, not all of them come out perfect. Sometimes they're a little lopsided. So if you have a set of needle nose pliers or little pliers that doesn't leave marks on the copper, I would suggest just squeezing the body slightly, moving a couple of the ribs down, spacing them apart so that way everything looks even, and try to make the body as long and as beautiful as possible. So that right there is pretty much the most intimidating part of the entire project, is making sure that you've got the body nice and straight with the ribs separated perfectly. The rest of it's easy, like the legs for example. Now I twist my legs counterclockwise on both sides. By doing that, the pattern on the belly stays consistent and it runs directly through and it looks like one solid piece, which is really cool looking. But in the past I've done it a different way. You could also go counterclockwise on one side and clockwise on the other and create like an X pattern across the belly. It's just something different. You could do either one, but for this project I did counterclockwise, and you can see right there I just messed up, and I'm going to go back and unwind it. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier, the direction you've chosen for your body. So right here, because of the way that we've braided the body, what I'm doing is I'm separating the claws. I'm putting 3 off to each side, and the 2 that are in the middle for the antenna, I'm going to pull back because they're going to be the longest part of my tail. So I'm going to keep those 2 short for the antennas, and then 3 off to each side for the claws. And then I'm going to make sure that my tail is nice and smooth and straight for when I wrap the cable around it. I don't want it to be lumpy. So right now is your last opportunity to make sure your tail is as long as you want it. Make sure you've got enough for your claws. And then we're going to take the outside wire that's directly on the base at the bottom here. And you're going to wrap that one around first because that's the tightest one. And that's going to keep everything in check. And as you go up, you're just going to try to keep it as tight as possible and use the entire length. But for today's project, I just wanted a small gap in between each one. I think that it looks much nicer in the curve. So we're going to wrap all of these wires around the body all the way to the end until you have 3 remaining. 2 of the longest ones and then the 3rd of just whatever's left over. With the final 3 wires, I like to give them a good twist, make sure that they're nice and solid before I take the 2 longest and I braid them together as tight as possible. They're going to be the longest part of the stinger, and the short one is going to be used as the poison sac or the venom sac. So just twist it up, leave it nice and loose so that way you can wrap the other wire into it and then tighten them together so that way the needle or the stinger will look as tight and as clean as possible. Now, once your tail's done, and you've got that perfect curve, and you're done making sure everything's nice and straight, just go back to the legs, start tightening them up. We're going to go counterclockwise for this one, so that way it creates a straight line across the belly. It's just a pattern that I want for this one. But as we're tightening the legs, what it's doing is it's tightening that rib cage around that core. And all I'm doing here is just a nice flat braid, just crossing them over one at a time. The important thing is to just make sure that they stay the same width the whole way through. And then as you get closer to the edge, just make sure you leave enough to create a claw. So just like we did with the tail, we're just going to twist up 2 of them. I'm going to go counterclockwise again just because of the way that the braid ended. That keeps everything tight for the claw. Now for the other claw, you'll have to go clockwise to keep everything tight with the way that that braid is, because it's a mirrored image. And then we just grab the pliers and I give it a twist right at the shoulder, like right at the body, and I lay it flat because I have to curve it. I have to put a nice elbow in it, and I want the braid to stay facing up instead of on the outside, so that way when you see it on a shelf or you're looking down at it, it just shines perfectly, catches your eye. The braided claws are like my favorite part of this. So right here, all I'm doing is I'm making sure that the claws are the same length, making sure everything's even before we start twisting them up. I like to have everything nice and symmetrical. So if you're liking this video so far and you're finding it helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button, comment below, let me know what you think. Comment below with a new suggestion for the next wire sculpture video. I read all the comments, and I would love for you guys to comment below and tell me if you want to see me do an octopus or a bird. I've been thinking about doing a bird lately. I just picked up a soldering iron, so that might be a cool project for the next one. Well, if you like this, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with somebody you think might enjoy it. If you like the wire sculpture that you've seen me make here today and you would like one for yourself, click the link below or head over to randomhero.ca and you can find them there for $30 each. I make them in solid copper, I make them out of aluminum, I make them out of a combination of the two, like a copper body with aluminum legs, all different styles, all different shapes. I also have a few snakes, and I have face huggers from the movie Alien. I have a whole bunch of different things that I like to make. The scorpion is just one of them. So our project is almost done. All we have to do now is cut the legs, make sure they're the same length on either side, and get ready to shape this thing. all we have to do is just bend everything into place. I put the legs each into the pliers at a specific depth, so that way I can bend them all in the same spot and they all look the same height. And then you just bend the arms into place and play around with the tail, have fun with it. As we bend the tail into its final position, we wrap up this project. I really hope that you enjoyed my scorpion wire sculptures. I want you to comment below, let me know what you think. Tell me what you want to see me make next time. If you like these, head over to randomhero.ca, pick one up for yourself. They're cheap, they're about $30. I make them in multiple sizes. Every one of them's different. Every one of them has a different backstory. So head on over there, check it out, and let me know what you think. Alright everybody, see you on the next one. Bye.